Welcome back to Budget Auto, the channel for cars, trucks, and other great automotive related content. I'm Nate. Today we're going to be driving my 1999 Audi A8 project car across Yellowstone National Park into Idaho. We're going to be taking it on a journey of about 250 miles today over to Rexburg because I am moving back to college. We're actually caravanning today, so we've got my mom in the 2001 Chevy Suburban and my wife in my 2004 F-150 FX4. We're going to have a great road trip today. We're going to caravan and we're going to see how the Audi does. This is the longest that I have ever driven this car since the repair that we did 1,000 miles ago. I'm going to talk about that repair later on in today's video, but if you don't know, check out the other videos on my channel. Like this video to support me and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more great automotive related content. Jared, what's up?
Oh my gosh, it's him!
Dang it, there's a fly in here. We just pulled out of our driveway, not even kidding you.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
Oh, we just pulled out of our driveway.
Who's we?
My mother, Brooklyn, and I.
All in one car?
Nope, all in separate cars.
Oh boy.
So this is our first and actually only fill up of the day, but we've got the Audi A8 right here ready to fuel up. It takes 91. The truck takes 87. I've already put 18 gallons in it. It actually is quite empty. Brooklyn had the fuel light come on her dash on the way here to Cody. And then we have the 2001 Suburban, my mom's car, and we're putting 89 in it right now just because it's an older engine and the higher octane will help it run better. This car has 234,000 miles on it. Still runs like a champ. It is a little bit rough, but very, very good car. If you can pick one up at lower miles, do so. We're cruising through Cody right now to head on towards Yellowstone National Park. We just hopped off and got fuel, and then we got McDonald's. I had to get my big soda for the day and some breakfast, and of course so did my mom in Brooklyn, because it is a 6-hour drive. We might only be going 250 miles, but it is 6 hours to get to Rexburg, because through Yellowstone National Park you have to drive 45 miles an hour. So it is a bit slower going, and there is quite a bit of traffic that you have to deal with through the park. Now, I won't say that I'm entirely comfortable driving this car today for 6 hours straight. However, I do feel confident enough that we're not going to have or suffer any major breakdowns or any major issues. Now, having that said, the most major issue, or the thing that scares me the most about this car currently, is that it surges at around 45 to 55 miles an hour slightly, and if I kick it into a lower gear, I rev it up or something like that, the surge goes away, but it's still there. That worries me. And according to AudiPages.com and other Audi forums, it's simply the transmission filter is needing to be replaced because it's got clogged with sludge and metal shavings, and it's not letting fluid pass through the transmission as good as it should, meaning that I need to do a transmission flush and put a new filter on, but I didn't get the time to do that at home, and I still don't even know what transmission comes in this car because they offered them in 3 different transmissions. I'm still working on figuring that out, but I feel confident that it's going to make it today, but I need to do a transmission flush in the future, and that's in the works. I need to get the right parts and things like that. And I went through everything with the car last night. I put a new boot on my left caliper. That was the rattle, or the reason that the car was rattling is that there wasn't a boot on the glide pin, and the old glide pin had actually fallen out. So I put in a new glide pin, put on a new boot. I went through everything on the car. I checked the bolts on the fan pulley that had come loose about 500 miles ago to make sure that they weren't going to come loose again. Everything's tight, everything's buttoned down, and everything checks out. So I do feel confident that the car is going to make it. It is scary right now because we're still on the uphill slide of our journey. We're not even into Yellowstone Park. I don't want to break down in Yellowstone Park, and then we'll get on our downhill side of the journey when we hit West Yellowstone, and I'll feel a lot more confident or comfortable once we get there. I love driving through these tunnels. This car needs an exhaust really badly. I wanted to put one on actually when I first bought it, but I decided, ow, that window squeaks. I wanted to put straight pipes on this car when I first bought it, but I wanted to do an exhaust cutout, and I decided that that just wasn't going to be feasible. So especially where I'm selling it, I don't want to have an aftermarket exhaust on it. And anyways, it's kind of a toss-up. So if I do keep the car and putting an exhaust on it, I'm probably not going to be keeping the car, so... And it's time to get back on the road. So at this point in the video, you guys are probably wondering, what is the point to this video? We don't want to just sit here and watch this random guy drive an 20-year-old Audi across Yellowstone into Idaho for 250 miles and see if he breaks down and has to walk the rest of the way. The point of today's video is to talk about how good a 90s Audi is in 2019 and 2020. Should you guys make a 20-year-old Audi your daily driver? And I want to help you guys understand what this car's like to drive. I want to help you guys know if it's something that you want to get if you're considering getting one. Interior wise, this car is very, very modern. I absolutely love the interior. It's not just all one solid color. I've got the black top with beautiful plastic or fake vinyl wood grain in here and tan everything else, genuine leather seats. These old Audi interiors actually hold up very, very well, much better than a Ford or an old crappy plastic GM product interior would hold up like. None of my buttons in here are faded, cracked, scratched. I can read everything just as it was intended when it was brand new, and everything in here works as it should. So I'm very, very happy with the interior of this car. It's a very, very comfortable interior as well. The only thing that's really chewed up in these older cars is the genuine leather seats, of course, as we know that leather doesn't really age well with use. But if you throw in a pair of cheap seat covers like I've got here, it makes the car look good as new and still keeps it very, very comfortable to drive and ride around in. I absolutely love the interior of this car. The features of this car actually keep up very, very well with some of the newer features in cars today. For example, we've got fully heated seats, front and rear. We've got fog lights, rear defroster. I've got dual climate control in the cab. The radio is a full Bose concert stereo system that sounds really, really good even by today's standards for a 20-year-old system. It's got 2 stock subwoofers in the back. Unfortunately, it does not have Bluetooth. This car does not have proximity sensors, adaptive cruise control, or a backup camera, but it does also have actual cruise control. It's got memory positions for the seat and the steering wheel, fully electronic, fully adjustable, everything. Like I said, very, very comfortable car. It's got a sunroof, and although it's not see-through, it does have a super cool feature. That was a bump. The super cool feature is that the sunroof has solar panels across the top that actually run the blower motor in this car to keep it at the same temperature as it is outside. So if it's a really, really hot day, you can count on coming in, sitting down, grabbing your steering wheel, and not burning your buns off on these leather seats, because the car automatically keeps itself at the same temperature as it is outside when it's hot outside. for you without running your battery down. So that's a super neat feature that only comes in this car. And another feature that only comes with Audis, as far as I know, at least in these older cars, is this button right here that I can push and have the sunshade come up in the back by itself. And of course the 2 passenger doors also have manual sunshades on them. Styling is also important on an older car that you're looking for, because you don't want to get something that looks old. Unfortunately, in my opinion, this car styling does date it a little bit. Of course, it's got the really low down, wide body, squatty back end, classic Audi stance that Audi owners love and look for, and you either hate the styling of this car or you love it. It's growing on me, and I've actually come to appreciate it very much. Of course, this is a huge car with a wide body. The styling, I don't mind it. I think it looks fairly aggressive in front. I think the back end looks pretty good. Now, I will say that the lights in the front of this car do not compare to a newer car. In 2019, especially if you're doing lots of night driving, lots of highway driving, I would swap those bulbs out for LEDs. Because being a European car, it's just simply not designed for the range of light that we need here in the United States with our more wide, spacious, and less trafficked highways. But other than that, I'm very happy and very pleased with the car. It's got a 5-speed automatic transmission with a manual option, and it's Triptronic, so it does very well on hills, going downhill. And of course, if you want to be sporty, you can throw that in manual mode. Now, when you're buying a 20-year-old car, you cannot expect everything to be perfect, but you don't want to get a project car. Now, I brought this car as a project car, very broken, but you guys don't have to do that. There are cars like this lying around with lower miles or even higher miles that are in very good condition. I'm quite impressed actually with how well Audi holds up. I will say that as far as overall reliability, it is a little bit hit or miss, but if you guys find a good car that has been very well maintained, you're probably going to have a lot of good luck with it. Audi had a little bit of trouble with the plastics or the rubbers on their car because they tend to disintegrate and break apart over time. I've had to go through and replace all the vacuum lines and redo most of the gaskets on this car, but if you guys find one that's been well maintained, it's probably still going to be running very well. Now, as far as repairs and maintenance are concerned on this car, any Audi or European vehicle is going to be more expensive to maintain, to take into a shop. They're very difficult to work on, and parts tend to be a little bit more money, meaning that you're going to spend more money in labor and parts on this vehicle. I'm someone that does all of the mechanic work myself, and if you're someone that does all of your mechanic work yourself, you could very easily consider an Audi as your daily driver, because if you do need a repair, there's a lot of help or a lot of tools out there that will help you get the right parts and the repair done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. They are more difficult to work on, and parts are probably about twice as expensive as on a normal American car, let's say. But at the same time, they're not overly expensive and they're not overly hard to work on. Check out my other video for the repair that we did on this car if you guys want to see how it would be to work on one of these older Audi models. You can see here on Grand Loop Road that right where we're at, the traffic is all backed up. I've never seen Google actually show this in Yellowstone, but they must know that everyone with their GPS on right now is stopped in traffic right here. So of course it's red, and I just put it in park and we're moving again. So anyways, you know, there's our awaited daily shot of buffalo here in Yellowstone National Forest. We just crossed into the Idaho border. I have 190 miles on my trip, and we've got an hour and 11 minutes or 71 miles left to go on into Rexburg. Alrighty, so you can tell by the amount of road noise and vibration, we are on Idaho highways. We just drove through Ashton, so we're 26 miles away from Rexburg. I am actually super excited to be there because it is now 22 degrees Celsius outside, and I don't know what that is, but I know it's more than 70, and it's getting quite hot in the car. This has actually been a super fun trip, caravanning with 3 vehicles, even though we've all got 3 V8s, my mom with the 5.3 in her Suburban, Brooklyn with the 5.4 in the truck, and of course the Audi with the 4.2 liter. We've burned a lot of gas today, and we've moved a lot of our stuff, thank goodness. Definitely going to be decluttering. The Audi A8 interior is absolutely very comfortable. I've been driving it for 6 hours now, and I have no complaints. I feel like I've been sitting down on a couch for 6 hours. It's that comfortable, and the sound system's amazing. It drives really well for an old car. So if you guys can live with the higher maintenance costs and the fuel economy, I definitely suggest an Audi A8 in 2019 and 2020. And that's our recap on a 90s Audi. If you guys liked this video, please subscribe to my channel for more automotive related content. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. I wonder if doctors ever walk around and they go, I opened him up, I wonder how he's still running. That's totally how I feel with this car.